Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Tru Inferno. And first and foremost, before we get into today's topic, I just want to give y'all a special announcement. The second single off of my upcoming beat album, Residential Epidemic, will come out this Tuesday at midnight. So we're talking like Monday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then once that minute comes, it will be Tuesday midnight. So that's when it's going to drop. And the second single is called Tales of the Dead Prayers, which is, prayers is short for presidents. So yeah, there you go. You do not want to miss that single when it drops. It will drop on my YouTube channel, obviously. So keep it like here. It will also drop on my trueinferno.bandcamp.com website. And you can purchase the single there for just, if memory serves me correctly, for just $1. Yeah, for just $1. And again, the album itself comes out April the 15th. And there's going to be a third single coming out next month, which is the month of March. So yeah, there you go with that. So again, Tales of the Dead Prayers comes out this Tuesday at midnight. So you do not want to miss that. Keep it like here. Keep it like on my trueinferno.bandcamp page or channel, right? Not channel, but the website. And also head on over to tru-inferno.co.nr, which is my official website, for all the latest buzz and info about what I got planned and things of that nature. Now, let's get on to today's topic. Today's topic, we are discussing the NBA season. We are now in the second half of the regular season with All-Star Weekend out the way, and games do not pick back up again until this Thursday. So we talking tomorrow after that, the day after I drop this video. So there you go with that. Now, if you recall, a number of months back, I did a video regarding my predictions on this season. So let's compare to what my predictions are to what's going on now. And then I'll go from there for predicting how the rest of the season will go, including the playoffs and things of that nature. Starting with the divisions with the Atlantic. So far, everything is holding the form. Toronto's #1, followed by Boston. Then the Knicks. Then you got Brooklyn, followed by Philly. And that is holding true. So not much to discuss there. Moving on to the Central Division. There's a bit of a shakeup here in comparison to my pick. Cleveland's still #1, unfortunately. So yeah, that part is true. And that's the only thing that is consistent. Everything else is like mixed up. Now, if you recall, I picked Chicago to be second, followed by Milwaukee, then Indiana, followed by Detroit. Now, how it is now, Indiana's in second, followed by Chicago, who is on a 4-game losing streak, losing 3 out of their last 7. So they kind of, 3 out of their last 7, 3 out of their last 10, excuse me. No, it's my fault. Let me rephrase that. They lost 7 out of their last 10. There you go. So Chicago's slumping, but at the time being, they are in third place in their Central Division, followed by my Detroit Pistons, and then we got the Milwaukee Bucks in last. So I'm thrilled that Detroit is not last in the division, and that they are in the thick of things regarding not only just a playoff hunt, but possibly the #3 seed. It's really close in the East. We'll get more on that in a second. Then we get on to the Southwest, and again, a few things shaking up, but who got the last spot? That remains the same. Miami, if you recall, I picked Miami to be #1 in this division, followed by Atlanta, then Washington, then Charlotte, then Orlando. Well, here how it is now. Atlanta's #1, followed by Miami, and it's only just a game difference there. Then it's Charlotte, then it's Washington, and then it's Orlando. So Orlando, again, holding true to that last place spot. Now, let's get our rest regarding the divisions. Now, in the Northwest Division, we got OKC. These are my picks, and most of them are holding true with the exception of the #4 and #5 spot. OKC, Portland, and Utah. Those 3 are legit. But I picked Minnesota to be 4th, and then Denver. How it is now, Denver currently holding that 4th spot, followed by Minnesota. So I thought Minnesota would improve. Not so much. Yeah. Now let's get on to the Pacific. Now, a little bit of a shakeup here, but mostly we made the same. I predict Golden State to be #1, followed by the Clippers. Now, that part is true. That part is holding up. But #3 is Phoenix. That's my pick. But at the moment, Sacramento got the #3 spot. And then it's Phoenix at #4. I got Sacramento #4, but the Lakers holding up the #5 spot, and that part is holding true. Now let's move on to the Southwest Division and taking a look at this crazy division. I said San Antonio will be number 1, and that's holding true. Followed by Houston. That's not holding true. The Memphis number 3, followed by New Orleans, and then Dallas. So yeah, aside from the number 1 pick, everything else is out of whack. So really, Memphis is number 2, followed by Dallas. Then is Houston, followed by New Orleans. So I'm kind of shocked that New Orleans is dead last in this division. But let's move on to how the conferences look regarding the playoff spots. So going back to the East, Cleveland basically got a chokehold over the East right now to some degree because number 2 is Toronto. Now, let me get back to my picks real quick. So I had Cleveland number 1, followed by Miami, and then Chicago, followed by Atlanta, then it's Washington, then Toronto, then Milwaukee, then Indiana. And then on the outside looking in, I got Detroit at number 9, Boston number 10, and then Charlotte at number 11, followed by the Knicks, then Brooklyn, then Orlando, then Philly. How it is now? Well, the Cleveland number 1, but Toronto's number 2, and then this is where things really get out of whack. Boston's number 3, Atlanta's number 4, so that's whole true. Miami number 5, then the Pacers at 6, Chicago's in 7, and Charlotte I got the number 8 spot, followed by, on the outside looking in, but barely, Detroit is in 9th, followed by Washington, then Orlando, then the Knicks, then Milwaukee, Brooklyn, then Philly. Going out west. Now, I said that Golden State was going to get the number 1 spot, followed by San Antonio. That's holding true so far. But here's, again, where things go out of whack. I got Houston 3rd, followed by OKC, then the Clippers, then Memphis, then New Orleans, and then Portland. Well, here it is now. OKC is 3rd, followed by the Clippers, and then Memphis. So I have Houston way too high. And then Dallas at number 6, followed by Portland, then Utah. Now, going back to my picks, I got Dallas on the outside looking in, followed by Phoenix, then Utah, then Minnesota, Sacramento, the Lakers, and then Denver. Now, how it is now, Houston's on the outside looking in, followed by Sacramento, then Denver, then the Pelicans, then the Timberwolves, Phoenix, and then LA. So, let me give you my playoff picks real quick. So, let's be real. Cleveland not only will they make the playoffs, they're going to get the number 1 seed. Toronto would try to play them tough because, they won 8 out of their last 10 games, but at the same time, so did Cleveland. And ironically, so did Boston, who is currently in 3rd place. Now, let's get something straight here. Doesn't matter who get that number 1 seed. The top 2 seeds in the East belongs to Cleveland and Toronto. That much is certain because Boston is 4.5 games behind Toronto. Now, granted, yes, Boston can still make a run for the number 2 spot. And they are 7.5 games back of Cleveland. So they could make a run for the number 1 spot, but let's be real. That's not happening. I don't care if there's like 30-something games left for these teams or whatever the case may be. Like 32 games for some of these teams or something like that. No, 30 games actually. But either way, I don't see Boston jumping Toronto or Cleveland and getting in one of those top 2 spots. Nobody's doing that. Now, as far as Boston on down, that's when it's up in the air because Boston got a game lead over Atlanta, who currently in 4th, who got a game lead over Miami, who is currently in 5th, who got a game lead over Indy, who is currently in 6th, who got a half game lead over Chicago, who is currently in 7th, who got a half game lead over Charlotte, who currently in 8th, who got a half game lead over my Detroit Pistons, who are on the outside looking in at 9th. Now, granted, aside from Detroit, Washington are 3 games back. I don't see that happening, especially since they only won 3 out of their last 10 games. Same could be said about Orlando. They're on the outside looking in. They like 4.5 games back. No, they 4 games. Yeah, they're 4.5 games back. And they lost 7 out of their last 10 games as well. AKA winning 3 out of the last 10, whatever. So really it comes down to Charlotte and then Detroit and then on up. Because again, Detroit is only, if you look at it, there are only 9 games back. I mean, no. They ain't gonna catch Toronto. I'm looking at Toronto, my fault. There are only 4.5 games back of Boston. Like I said, anything can happen there. So you're probably saying, but wait a minute, Boston is 4.5 games back of Toronto. So what's the difference between Boston passing Toronto and Detroit climbing up to pass Boston? Toronto's that good, man. Toronto's legit. Toronto is what I thought Miami was going to be this year. So as far as who I think gonna get in representing the East, the top 2 seeds are locked. I think Atlanta gonna get in. I think Miami's going to get in. The Pacers and Boston going to get in. And I think the Pistons going to get in. After that move that they made earlier Tuesday, I actually like their chances of getting in. Now, for who I think going to be out, it's going to come down to Charlotte and Chicago. Now, there are rumors that Charlotte could get the Dwight Howard. If Charlotte gets the Dwight Howard, then Charlotte would make the playoffs in favor of the Chicago Bulls. I don't know where everybody going to be seated at, because that's like a whole nother guessing game, and everything's up for grabs out east. It's crazy over there. Now, let's move on to the rest real quick. Now, the rest is not set in stone as well, but it's not as congested at the east. We know the top 2 seeds are locked. That's Golden State and the Spurs. That's all that. And I'm going to go on the record and say that OKC got the number 3 spot on lock as well, unless they got another big-time injury. It's all about really the 4th seed. It depends. If the Clippers make any moves, that can either boost them up and keep them at the number 4 spot, or they're going to drop. Now, they are 4 games ahead of Memphis, and I don't see them making any moves. Therefore, now, granted, they got to get Blake Griffin back, but the problem is they won more games without Blake Griffin in the game, suited up, than they have with Blake Griffin in the lineup, which is pretty crazy. I think they only lost 5 games ever since Blake Griffin been out. He missed like 20-something games. So that is just strictly bananas. So I think the first 4 seeds are locked. Memphis currently in the 5th spot, and they have a 3-game lead over Dallas. And then Dallas have a 1.5-game lead over Portland and Utah, who currently is tied for 7th. And then, of course, a half game behind both of them are Houston. And then you got 4 games back at Houston, 4.5 games back at both Portland and Utah or Sacramento. Really, it's going to come down to Portland, Utah, and Houston regarding which 2 go get in and which 1 team going to be left out. And I'm going to go on again, it depends on the Dwight Howard. If the Dwight Howard is traded, obviously Houston's not going to get in. If the Dwight Howard stays in Houston, and then now before I jump to that, I also heard some theories, not rumors, theories that James Harden should be traded. If James Harden's traded, then Houston not making the playoffs. If the Dwight Howard's traded, then the Houston Rockets are not making the playoffs. If both of them stay in Houston, I still had to stick to where I'm at and say that Houston still would not make the playoffs. Yeah, they kind of made a bit of a climb over the last few months, but if you look at the last 10 games, both Portland and Utah have won 8 out of their last 10. Houston only won 4 out of their last 10 and lost 3 straight. I just don't see it happening this year for Houston. I don't think Houston making the playoffs. So the top 4 seeds are locked for me. I think Memphis will hold on to the number 5 seed. Dallas will hold on to the number 6 seed, even though they only won 4 out of their last 10 as well. And then it's going to come down to Portland and Utah for who get that 7 and 8 seed. It really don't matter because both of them going to get blown out by San Antonio and Golden State. So, but regarding my finals picks, they remain the same. I still got, well, no, actually, no, that's not true. I got Miami going. I got Toronto going to the finals, only to get destroyed by the San Antonio Spurs. So, yeah, man, y'all know who this is, man. This is your boy, the new Jay Gatsby, a.k.a. Jim Ryan II. As you can clearly see, I had a marvelous game here. Saying peace out, y'all, and see y'all next time. Yeah.